So I rocked up to the petrol station, there it was, zero diesel. 100% renewable paraffinic diesel. Intriguing, I thought. So I went home and did some research. So it would seem that this paraffinic diesel is really good stuff. It's made from renewable sources. Well, it can be. It says XDL instead of, like, you know, B15 or B7 or E10 or E5. XDL means X to liquid. It means X material was turned into liquid fuel. If it's made from 100% renewable sources or something like that, it's like HVO, hydro-treated vegetable oil. And it said also that it was much better. It wasn't just clean and all that environment stuff, which is all very good, but I'm really looking into the economics of the thing and also the performance, because it said that it made the engines run better because it had more cetane. I like that. So I decided to try some for myself. So I went back to the same petrol station, but this zero diesel stuff was not available. I thought either they've sold out or the pump's broken, I don't know. So I went inside and asked. And the lady said that she couldn't sell me it because it's only available for the fleet of vehicles that operate under the umbrella of that brand of petrol station. So she couldn't sell it to me. And I said, oh, that's weird, but how much would it cost? And this is where it really made my, you know, testes drop to the floor. It was more than 30% more expensive than regular diesel. Ouch. So that made me think, I mean, it's expensive now, so what is your incentive for buying it? And if it does replace regular fossil fuels, will the price stay up or will it come down as it becomes more abundant? And the thing is, will it replace fossil fuels? Because if it's made from biomass, that biomass has to be abundant enough to make up for the amount of oil that we already put out of the ground. As I said in a previous video, all of the arable land in the world, if it was converted to make just crops for fuel, it wouldn't be enough to fuel our world fleet for a year. I did a sort of a back of an envelope calculation. If you use all the arable land in the world to make biofuel, that will be enough for just over 1.5 days of our current fuel consumption. So immediately it cast doubt in my mind as to its feasibility. Why would I buy it if it's so expensive? I mean, even if it makes my car run slightly better, you know, the overall cost in fuel isn't enough to warrant me changing. I mean, it runs fine now with regular diesel, so, you know, why fix what isn't broken? And then looking at it from a more of a big picture point of view, is it something that is going to, like, help us in the future? I mean, will synthetic fuels take over from fossil fuels and thus allow us to keep our internal combustion engine vehicles? Well, I doubt it, because in 2035, in 10 years, if all things go according to plan, in places like the EU and the UK, the sale of new petrol and diesel cars will be banned. And from that moment on, people will be forced to buy electric cars if they want to buy them new. And then the people who actually have internal combustion engine vehicles will have to keep running them somehow. So maybe they'll be forced to turn to synthetic fuels. Although in all honesty, I do think that the fossil fuel industry will be powerful enough to, you know, keep selling their wares. But over time, you know, as I said, fossil fuels will run out. So they will go the way of the dodo eventually. And we'll be left with nothing else but synthetic fuels if we want to keep running these cars. And if that's the case, these synthetic fuel guys will be able to charge what they want. And then there's another thing as well. Is the source for this synthetic fuel enough? Is it abundant enough or renewable enough to guarantee a constant and reliable source to produce this fuel? I'm not so sure. You know, very expensible liquid fuels if you want to keep running your internal combustion engine car, and your only alternative is going to be electricity, electric vehicles. And then again, that's not really looking good either, because if you can't charge at home, you'll be forced to use a public charge and pay lots for that as well. So yeah, maybe the future of our individual mobility is going to be very expensive. I mean, our housing already is, and so is our food and everything else. So, you know, why not fuel? So that's a bit of a cop-out of a conclusion, but to compensate, I pledge, if this XTL stuff, this paraffinic diesel, ever becomes available to the general public at a reasonable price, I will fill the tank of my Citroen C5 X7 Tourer with its 2-litre HDI engine and see what it's like. Will it be smoother and nicer and quicker, and above all,
What impact will it have on the fuel consumption? That's what really interests me most. So if you want to see that, don't forget to subscribe. If you didn't think the video was a complete waste of time, please click that like button. And on screen now, there is an icon for clicking so you can go and visit the merch store. Also a video on the future of EVs and fuel in general, and below a recent video where I try to find the rattle in my car and nearly drive myself insane. Thanks so much for watching. I bid you all farewell.